Will Avalanche and Solana be the two altcoins that spark a massive altcoin rally? The answer is potentially, maybe, possibly yes. We're going to have that discussion. We have Magic Internet Money joining us. Go over the Bitcoin chart. Standard Chartered, one of the larger banks, still thinks we can get $100,000 Bitcoin by August. What's the likelihood of that? And what does that move even look like? We'll ask Magic. Also, more influencers and more celebrities are coming into our space. And, well, just be careful. We'll have some of those discussions. Also, we're going to talk about Coinbase and who selected them as our custodians. Silvergate Bank continues to get pounded by the SEC. And then Cardano, one of the few blockchains that is MiCA ready. And MiCA in reference to the new European law that passed for digital assets. Does this put Cardano ahead of the herd when it comes to Europe? And is that an area they should be focusing on? We'll talk about that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Big Rob back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. We take old, boring, and, well, sometimes stale information, repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy way. Bitcoin hasn't really moved much. Down a little bit from 62, 63, but, hey, we're holding that 60K. Very beautiful.
Wow.
And we're about to get to 70K?
The best 60K we've ever held.
Oh, man. Get ready, baby. You also am extremely bullish. I am extremely bullish on Solana. I went into this, like, deep Solana cave, and I was like...
Deep Solana cave, huh?
Yes, man. There's just so much activity.
You find any cool celebrities down there?
Yeah. Man, you know. I did find some cool celebrities down there. I
know you did, because we're going to talk about it today.
Yeah, there's no shortage of...
You know what? Actually, no, it's too early.
Too early.
Too early.
Too early. All right. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned, yeah. Speaking of stay tuned, we have Ashley joining us. Not sure how that segue came. Ashley, how you doing? Yeah. Ashley, you know, we were talking off camera, and you said you've been learning more about Bitcoin and crypto. So, Rocco, can we give her a round of applause? Big shout out to Ashley for that.
Shout out to Ashley. Thank you.
Would you like to share anything you learned?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm not there yet.
Okay. Oh, okay. I kind of put you on the spot.
Do you own any Bitcoin yet?
Yeah, I do.
You're lying.
Very hesitant. Yeah.
Who wants to be the first person to give Ashley her first little piece of Bitcoin, her first Satoshis?
Ooh.
Maybe we'll create a Bitcoin wallet for Ashley. And anyways, we're also joined today by Rocco on the ones and twos. Rocco, how you doing, man? He said he's doing great.
Doing great, thank you.
You're welcome. I really want to say something, but I don't want to put you in a bad mood, so I'm gonna move on.
He always puts me in bad mood anyway.
Too late for that, he said.
Is it the XRP or the Italy that lost the European Cup?
I was going to combine them both.
Okay.
It's going to be a meritage.
Well done.
XRP now has an NFT commemorating
Italy's win in the Euros. Anyways, he brought it up, Rocco, not me. It was him. I was going to not say anything. Let's talk about, not that. Let's talk about this. So the theme of today's show, or the title and thumbnail you saw, was talking about Avalanche, Solana. Right, this altcoin market has been kind of slumpish, right, with the exception of a few. And we actually have a video coming out about that tomorrow, really dissecting what is going on, why have we not seen a rally, and why a rally potentially leading into the end of the year is imminent. So you want to make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. But so two altcoins that are really in the spotlight. One is Avalanche, right? The AVAX Gaming, Ava Labs Gaming, you have Shrapnel coming out, you have Off the Grid, you have Beam Network, which is a subnet of Avalanche focusing on gaming. So you have a lot of exciting things happening in Avalanche, not to mention their partnership and what they're doing with Amazon Web Services. Not just, hey, we want to host all of our data storage on Amazon Web Services. No, they are actually working with AWS. And you can see here, whales have been accumulating AVAX tokens. So this article here from bncrypto.com, Avalanche's price could be benefiting largely from the bullishness exhibited by the whales. These large wallet holders have been on an accumulation spree over the last 2 weeks. We take a look at where is Avalanche today on the price. $28.20 up. What was that? Up 14% on the 7 days? 13% on the 7 day. Avalanche is up just outside of the top 10, sitting at number 11. Now, this did get as high as, take a look at the 1 year chart. This did get as high as $62. This is actually on my wife's birthday, March 18th. So not too far ago, right? Not too long ago, 3 months ago, $66. If you believe in the project, if you believe in the long term and what they're doing, their partnerships, the gaming side of it, the subnets, everything that's happening, if you believe in it, I mean, you're looking at a 40% discount, 50% discount on a project that the only thing that's changed is the price action, right? And then you lean into something like Solana, which, we talk about Solana on the show all the time. We have a lot of things happening on Solana, right? DEX volume is continuously passing that of Ethereum and its competitors, right? Developers, you have Firedancer in the pipeline. Their convention is coming up. So what kind of announcements are we going to see? We saw the Solana, what were they called? The little links you can put on X?
Blinks.
Yeah. Blinks. Solana Blinks. So they're integrating into Web 2 and bringing on Web 2 into Web 3. And then you have this that I kind of feel like we discussed it, but people are kind of sleeping on it, right? We had 2 people file for a Solana ETF that includes 21 shares and Van Eck. Price initially was boosted by 6%, but it's kind of fallen off. If we go back to the coin market cap, we take a look at where is Solana price-wise. They're coming in at number 5 at $148, up only 8% over the last 7 days. I feel like if instead of 21 shares and Van Eck, it was BlackRock, I feel like Solana would be sitting at $160. That's not to say that BlackRock is not going to file for a Solana ETF. In fact, there's rumors and talks about them planning on doing so, but I think eventually it would make sense for the big players like BlackRock. But like a lot of people are kind of being overly bearish on these 2 projects. And then you have another sign of, hey, people are flocking to the network. Liquid staking on Solana sees remarkable growth. So the number of liquid staking tokens has notably doubled, and the market landscape is diversifying with the dominance of the top 3 providers decreasing from 93 to 68%. So, Robin, Avalanche, Solana, do you think they're going to be the front runners for this altcoin rally we're going to eventually see?
They're in very interesting situations because Solana really outperformed all other layer ones this year, right? So from January to now, Solana is just the clear-cut winner. But with that said, it might be a little overbought on the macro sense, right? And when you zoom out and you say like Solana going from sub $10, $9, or even almost, I think it was almost a year where it was under $20. You find yourself in a situation where how much more can this pump? And on the other side of the conversation here, when you talk about Avalanche, this thing did rally quite significantly, but it still underperformed Solana. So I do think that Solana, although it is kind of king right now and it's making a lot of headwind in the space, I do think that that Avalanche is primed to catch up. And it just hasn't had that giant rally yet. Now it has performed pretty well.
AVAX had pretty much a 12x.
Yeah.
From $5 to $60. Solana had a 20x.
Yeah.
From $10 to $200.
Yeah. So I like what Avalanche is doing. I think Web3 is a narrative that we haven't seen explode this market or this bull market cycle yet, right? We've had a little bit of DeFi, but more or less it's been memes and memes. Jupiter was really successful. Also, I know just to kind of expand on that, Jupiter did just release their roadmap for Q3 here, where they have the cloud token launch, and they also are offering 60 million in staking as well. So there's a lot to look forward to with Solana still. So it's hard for me to discount Solana's future, but I do think that Avalanche is just ready to go, man. And Web3 hasn't been a focus.
Pick a winner from now until the end of the year. We're going to make more money in Solana or Avalanche?
I think Avalanche.
Really?
We saw the big narrative for AI, right? AI, meme coins, those came. And I think that before the end of the year, we're going to see some of that hopium, some of that euphoria going into.
Is that Magic?
That was Magic.
Ooh, Magic. Yeah.
So, I do think that we'll get some of that euphoria into Web3 and gaming. I haven't seen it yet. I think Web3 and gaming is coming. And so I'm very excited about that. With that said, I got to go Avalanche, bro. Got to go Avalanche. I think just off of the gaming perspective, I think that it's going to really pop off this year. So.
I'm going to go the other way.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Solana.
Oh.
I think there's just too much happening with Solana. I don't understand how anyone could be bearish on Solana. The things they're doing to make it super convenient and easy for people to use the network, for people to use their DEXs, to use their dApps. I mean, we did a demo on their what was it called again? Where you can embed it in like X. You just said it earlier.
The blinks?
Blinks.
Okay.
The blinks, right? It might seem mundane, but you got to think about, hey, everyone talks about, oh, the next wave of people are coming. Well, how is your network? How is your layer one? How is your ecosystem going to not only onboard people into it, but keep them there, right? Why did Walmart grow in popularity? Is because you can walk in there, do your grocery shopping, buy clothes for your kids, buy diapers, buy food. Oh, you can also buy a car seat. You can also buy a fridge. You can also buy pet food. You can also buy car tires. So drew people in, people stayed because it's convenient. They can get everything in one place. And so similarly, if I bring someone into an ecosystem, can they mint their NFTs and pay low fees? Can they launch tokens and pay low fees? Can they have a great user experience? Can they not have to worry about topping up their wallet with Solana every 5 days because the fees are so high? So you have a lot of things going for it, and that's not a knock on AVAX. I'm bullish on both, but if I had to pick one from now to hold to the end of the year, not to mention Fire Dancer, not to mention everything else that is happening on Solana, we see liquid staking go up, and so I'm bullish on both, but Solana definitely for me takes the cake. So. Yeah. Anyways, I do want to give a big thank you to our channel sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Legacy Network. Legacy Network is in the final stages of launching their app to the public. It is currently in beta testing. Rob and I have actually been playing around with the app for quite a while. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, it's fun, it's exciting. And we're excited to have them on as a channel partner. And so what you want to do is click the link in the description of this video. It'll take you to their Telegram channel. In there, you get all the updates, get to chat with the community. They also have a Discord as well. But a lot of the fast, quick updates happen in Telegram. And so we will be covering that more in depth once it goes live, because not only will we be able to help yourself improve, but you'll also be able to make money in the meantime. So big thank you and shout out to Legacy Network. Now, before we bring on Magic, I do want to share some ETF flows. So we've kind of been, it's either been red days, big red days, right? 200 million, 180, 140, 150, or it's been very tiny inflow days, 30, 20, 11, 73. Yesterday was the first, what is that, nine-digit inflow day, $129.5 million flowed into Bitcoin via the ETFs, with BlackRock putting up a goose egg. Zero Fidelity led the way with 65 million of inflows. 41.4 million came from Bitwise, and 12.7 million came from ARK. More notably, no inflows, more importantly, no outflows from Grayscale, as they saw zero, which brings BlackRock's total to around 17.7 billion. Fidelity is closing in on 10 billion. So think about this. We're going to have two asset managers that are going to hold over $10 billion of Bitcoin, of whatever, compared to any ETF, any product, two that have $10 billion of assets under management in less than 6 months, or in a little more than 6 months. potentially could be less than 6 months if we get to July 11th and we have it there. So pretty interesting stuff there. And then I did mention in the beginning of the show, Standard Chartered, which is a bank that manages around $820 billion, says Bitcoin could still reach $100,000 by August. I feel like Standard Charter is becoming like the boy who cried wolf a little bit. You know, we talk about, they throw out price predictions all the time, 300K by the end of the year, $1 million by 2026, and now 100K by August. We kind of had this discussion a little bit maybe yesterday. But what are your thoughts on this here, Rob? And then we'll bring Magic in.
On how much was it?
100K by August.
We had that same question yesterday, right? You were saying $90,000 is.
Well, that was based off of, if we saw similar prices.
Charting, yeah. I still think that by the end of August, I still think we're sub 90,000. And that's just from a perspective that I just think that once we get past 70,000, we get into 80,000. I just think that we still haven't seen retail just pile in yet. And I don't discount the fact that Bitcoin can easily run up to 100 grand. It's historically moved in 20-30% to the upside multiple times in its past, especially in bull market cycles. But I still think that because of the lack of retail interest, because people just aren't talking about Bitcoin and everyday conversation, right? You're not hearing about it at the restaurants or at work. It may be here and there. There's always a couple crypto degens, probably yourself included, but you just haven't seen the masses get into crypto. And I think when that happens, then we'll see these big 40% run-ups in the span of a month and a half. That's kind of the thing, right? 30 to 60 days, we'll get to 100K. I just don't think the retail's there yet. But not to say that I still think that I think that direction is correct. I think that come August we'll be over 80,000, maybe 90,000, but I still think 80,000 until September. I think September is really when the election really starts to ramp up, and we're starting to see that the candidates are campaigning on crypto and crypto regulation.
They kind of are.
Yeah.
So we know retail's not here yet, right? Do you fall into the camp of, hey, once we hit 100K, then retail will start coming in? Are you in that kind of camp? There's a lot of people that are saying that.
Yeah, but I think you need retail to get to 100K. I think we'll get there. Over time. So if retail doesn't come in and we get to 100K, let's just say that we proceed as normal. Not any crazy interest in Bitcoin. We hear about it every once in a while on CNBC, but realistically, it's kind of a backseat story. I think that we do get to 100K, but that's in September, October. But if you want to get that 100K before then, it has to be some kind of event where it draws the attention of the public, and that public is in here just investing heavily.
I'm curious to get Magic's take on this. So we have Magic joining us as he does every Tuesday. Let's bring him in, Magic.
What's going on, guys?
How you doing, brother? Do you believe in the magic of 100K by August, as our friends over there at Standard Charter say? What's your thoughts on that? And I kind of prefaced it earlier by saying, they are constantly throwing price predictions out there, and so, but 100K is obviously a nice big round number. And as I posed a question to Rob earlier, do you think that is when retail will finally start to step in? What's your analysis on that whole scenario?
I think 100K could happen. I don't know if it'll happen by August. I think that'd be pretty ambitious, but at the same time, we've been consolidating for a very long time. So when this break does come, it's going to be somewhat aggressive, so sure, anything is possible. Do I think retail piles in at that time? Oh yeah. At 100K, I think people will lose their minds.
Yeah. Why pile in at 40 when you can pile in at 100, right?
Well, I mean, investor sentiment doesn't really change much cycle to cycle.
Yeah.
people are very predictable. But with Bitcoin, I think it is one of those things where the sentiment in the space is pretty down. And like even when I'm just doing really standard technical analysis, saying, hey, we're at a really big inflection point. This is key resistance, all that stuff. People are just like, the cycle's over. Like they're ready for it to be over. And I think a lot of people missed the bottom, which happened in the last cycle, if you recall, in 2021, when price went all the way to 37 or 3,900, depending on your exchange, to back test that low. Everyone wanted it to come back and fill in some like 4-hour gap or something, but it went straight back to 10K. And then people said, no, it'll pull back, and it really didn't. It pulled back to like $8,800, and then went to I think it was like 13, and then higher than that over time. But a lot of people were left sidelined, and the disbelief phase of the rally was very real. And so, yeah, if it went to 100K, I think people would be like, well, I got to get in. And that's what happened to people when they, Bitcoin started hitting like 30,000 after it broke 20, it started hitting $30,000, $40,000. That's when things started to get really wild. It did put in a really large range at the top there, which allowed for altcoins to have their day, and, for retail to come in and, get scammed even more than they already were probably. And then, buy the top. So.
Yeah. It's just interesting to see, like you mentioned, cycle after cycle, it's the same thing. And, looking at our analytics and our numbers, our viewership is down outside of certain content specific videos we do. And I'm looking across the board on some of the bigger channels as well to kind of gauge where the retail audience is, and their numbers are down as well. And so to your point of sentiment being in the crapper, like people tend to forget very quickly and easily previous cycles and how they played out, and how we've had 3-month lulls of literally what we're going through now. And with that being said, Magic, can we pull up a Bitcoin chart? I know like 60 to 70K is a big range, but how much longer do you expect this range to continue? And are there any indicators telling you that we might see a breakout one way or the other? And if there is, which way do you think that's going to break?
Sure. In terms of the chart, obviously we have a really big range. So I'm trying to keep this somewhat simple. What time frame do I have for these levels? Is this yearlies? Yeah, we got 2023 closures. Okay, so locally, everything's very simple. You guys have just come into some new averages of price. I obviously don't do dynamic averages. I do everything based on horizontals. Pivots are often used. So you have July Q3, their new average from Q2 is here, and then the last 60 day is all right here, right at 63, 64K. So we've been saying over time we need to live above about 64. I think it was 64,540 to 65,000. So this lines up really nicely that these averages did generate in this area, and you bounced from your incoming semi-annual average. So this generates every 6 months. Obviously, we like the yearly ones a lot. That's one of the things we've talked about quite a bit on your show. But I do a 6-month one as well, and that's where this was. So, your support and resistance for now is 58 up to 64. But in an ideal world, we'd love to live above this, back test the, overall point of control of the range, which does come in at the gold pocket. But once you start flipping this blue zone here, and I'll extend it to the left and we'll zoom out a little bit, that's where going to be your indication of like, can we expect something to change in terms of price action getting out of this range. And I do think timing on this one will be pretty good for July, to be upfront with you. That's the date that I have on my chart, is for this to maybe get resolved in July. We've talked a little bit about time on this show, and we'll get rid of some of the stuff here so that you guys don't have to look at all this junk while we do that. But, price is pretty simple where we are. You've got a weekly average beneath us. I will leave you guys with that at 61,555 and 61,390. That little zone is going to be support. If it's lost, you do have support down beneath you a little bit further. It'd actually be the previous week value area low, and just be a full rotation of this weekly range. So this ended on Sunday, and you don't close outside of this too much. TradingView's not giving me a whole lot of love today. There we go. And it's going to be very slow. Wow. Every now and then I get this with the volume profile tool. I wonder what TradingView's got going on. Either way, this was essentially your range. okay, for the last week. And so it's one standard deviation of price. You can see that you've closed outside of it. You've now worked your way back inside of this. You're back testing the average from that session, the weekly naked point of control. And if you were to rotate to the bottom, this would still be an area of support. And you have higher time frame levels even beneath that. So to me, this is an area to be looking for longs. It's not really a good area to be looking for shorts unless you were shorting this blue box above you, in which case, you knew you were going to have a decent reaction off of it. But ultimately, I'd like to see this box tapped again and maybe even pushed through over time to come up here to this like 66, 67K level. But timing wise, we've discussed this a few times, but it's very good to always go over it because time is one of the things that people get hung up on quite a bit. Patience is not what most people are known for in most aspects of life, but especially in trading when there is money involved. So having a good timeline for what you're expecting is always going to be important. It's difficult to stick to because there's a lot of noise in the space. So I always have it underneath the macro folder. You guys know that we were looking for the 0.5 to be a major inflection point. It's a multiple pull, so different pulls, but getting us very similar pivot points, which we like to see, that we were looking for somewhere in this region of potentially, either a large range like we got last halving or a pullback, which you've gotten both of those things. So looking at things now, your next major pivot point, in terms of distribution of time based on accumulation patterns is going to be in July. And historically, that's been when Bitcoin in the prior halving, doesn't have to work out this way, but sometimes the markets rhyme, did resolve its post-halving consolidation, which was also very long, which also ended up in a wedge formation like so, right? You ended up with the exact same kind of style of range where you're coming into an apex. It resolved in July. So I would expect to see something similar here. I think it's pretty obvious what you've got going on. We've been talking about it for several weeks now, that if price can hold on to these levels, you will have that symmetrical triangle. Now, the only thing you don't want to see is if you do break down from these levels, like that 58K macro support we talked about, to me, there really is nothing between you and about $46,000 to $48,000 probably, maybe even a touch lower. So it would be a big drop. That wouldn't be the end of the world. It would just be kind of a back test of old support and resistance from this giant consolidation and then this little consolidation here. So not the end of the world there. But yeah, I'd say July. This is probably going to bore some people out of the market. Par for the course with Bitcoin before big moves, though. And, just to kind of put things in perspective, like we just talked about with the last halving, you'd be looking at something like this. And again, coming into an apex, so going very sideways and then looking for the averages to get claimed, which came in here. And if you're living above this, you can also see that's very, very close to the EQ of said triangle, meaning that we would want to be above this level. And if we're above it, historically, support, resistance, holding it as support. What happens when you lose it? You go to the bottom side of the range. So you need to see this area claimed. And now we have basic math that supports it.
What is that level,
so
Magic? Sorry. What is that EQ level?
It's kind of a zone. The zone is about 63,737.50 up to 64,321. These are the averages from 60 days, 90 days, or the quarter, and then also the prior month is in there as well. I had July turned on, I believe. Yeah, no, it's right here. There we go. So these three right here. And so you can see you've come up and tested it. You got a good reaction. So if you're a trader, this was a fun trade. But realistically, high time frame wise, nothing has changed. We're still just range bound. And it's a very unsexy thing to tell people after you've been range bound for this long. People get very bored with it. They go, oh, this guy's boring. And it's like, well, what do you want me to tell you? I can make up articles like that other guy and say, I think 100K by August, but I don't really have anything to back that up. But if this breaks out, this giant consolidation by August, kind of like you were saying, is it possible? Sure. You've been sideways here since, the last breakout of a range was in February 24th. You formed this range at the end of February, and now you've been going sideways into July. So you've been up here for a long time. Resolution of this in either direction is going to be probably pretty good. So maybe it goes to 100K, maybe it doesn't. I'll give you guys kind of a nugget. I obviously project levels based on time for entire sessions. And so I have like my levels that are good for a whole year. If you recall, they're very, very good for just basic, extrapolation of data. We just had our 6 month. So I now have that as well. And I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff on here, and I'll get rid of that. So for the next 6 months, this is the last 6-month candle. If you were to take it and, project for support and resistance based off standard deviations and averages of price multiplied by volume. So that's all that is. And it gives you, I put in the 0.5 and the 1.5 and stuff because just to give people a little extra in terms of levels to trade off of in the group, because those guys are a little more active than the everyday investor. But in terms of, if you were looking at it through the lens of just deviations, this is telling you, you want to be looking for longs at 60,863, and you want to be up here. This is going to be resistance around 70,427. Not a shocker to anyone. Your next big level, 51,298. Then after that, 41,733. So to the upside, it's giving you projections for potential higher highs. So it is one of those things where I do default to this information. It just depends on when we get the break of this range, which I would anticipate does occur in this 6-month time frame. I doubt we go sideways for another 6 months. I don't think anyone would want that, but that would be brutal, actually. The chop like this for 6 months, that'd be awful. Another 6 months, but yeah, that's how I'm looking at the market. Just trying to remain patient. Like I said, I was looking for longs at the lows of the range because that's really your only trade. We talked about that last week. I think Big Rob was kind of surprised because
don't call him that.
I think he thought I was going to come in and be small, medium. How about medium, Rob? Can we do that?
It's like his shirt.
Medium, Rob. Yeah.
Good.
But he was surprised because I was like, I'm looking for longs here. I'm not really bearish yet. Like, there's no reason to be bearish just yet. You haven't broken down. But if you do break this to the downside, I think at that time the best way to look at the market is either on the high time frames, like a quarterly and above, which you can see you really don't have anything until about $46,000, or just go out to your last yearly chart and you can start plotting the yearly highs and closures and say, this is probably where support's going to be at. And then price looks a little different. If you were wanting to keep things even more simple than I just gave it to you guys, when can you get excited? 2021 high, you've swung, fail it, right? Well, we haven't closed the year yet, so technically no, but it would be an important level to reclaim. Go to the 6-month chart. We just closed a 6-month candle, and this is a level we've never closed above on that time frame. So would love to see 64,990 again, that 64,540 to 65K region kind of rearing its head again, showing us that is the level that if we can get above and hold above it, we can start looking for these other valuations to the, maybe a new all-time high. And especially if this is a true breakout, when that occurs, that's when those 100K valuations, they start, they're probably going to start popping up everywhere. And then, but it becomes a very real possibility at that time. So until this area is resolved, I'm just remaining neutral and just taking whatever trades available, trying not to get bored out of the market, I guess, because we don't really have a direction just yet. We just have local lower highs and higher lows, which is very, very symmetrical, I guess, a symmetrical triangle. So,
hey, Magic, let me ask you, because you get this question or topic a lot. What if 73 or 74K was the cycle top? If you were to put a probability percentage on that it was the top, what number would that be?
I put out a thread in our group in February before we reached it about how 73K was the level. I just thought we got there really quick. So do I think that there is, in past cycles, had you asked me something like this, like 20K, let's say we went to 20K by the halving last cycle instead of going higher, I'd have been like, yeah, 75% chance this is not the top and we're going higher. Based on where we are, I actually give it closer to a 50-50.
Really?
It would be more of a left. Yeah, it'd be more of a left translated cycle. And that's not to FUD anyone out of the market. It's just, the way we've approached this and how this move has happened, and knowing that Jerome Powell was just, I think, and I might be, speaking out of my ass a little bit here, excuse my language, but I thought I'd heard someone say he was speaking in Europe with the ECB and was talking about cutting rates. And I was like, I know people like that, but that's usually not a good sign. That usually means that you're going to get a market crash. So it is one of those things where I would never base a trade decision on that. But all I'll tell you guys I've done as a trader up here is, I've started my time horizons changed a little bit. I look at this as the cycle is maturing. We're over halfway done. I've got no indication just yet that the cycle's over. But if we do break down from, 58K, I'm going to be very interested to see what happens in those 40s, like upper 40,000 region, because if that area is lost, I think the cycle was definitely in for a top, and it just came super quick. So all I've done is I haven't sold my crypto like Bitcoin and stuff, but I have deleveraged up here. My leverage trades that I gave on Twitter, I said I'm not closing this trade at 16,621. I did start taking profits on it when we got closer to 30. And I have started closing that out in a larger scale up in this region just to make sure that I've got that risk off the table. And when I close those positions, they close into the native asset because I trade inverse perpetual. So I'm just closing back into Bitcoin. I'm not selling it or anything. And I'll hold that spot position because the drawdown on spot is much more palatable than a leveraged position. So, and I'm not paying, fees anymore on it, things like that. So it just made sense to be a little less risk on up in this region, I guess. But it's an interesting area on the chart for sure. I put a thread about it on Twitter, and I use some different tools based on time and based on standard deviations of data to extrapolate how you can use Fibonacci with that new kind of like style of trading. It's something that's unique to me, but it does work very, very well. It actually helped me low key call the top up here as well. So it was one of those things where, it's fun, but it can be confusing if you don't know what you're looking at. But there's a whole thread on it if you guys want to read it. Go through all the fib pools, all the logic and reasoning why we need to see 73K broke. And if we do, then we can talk about 100K. And I think that's what we had said in February as well.
Interesting. I didn't think it'd be 50-50, but it's very intriguing. I'll tell you what, if 73K was the top,
nobody saw it coming.
No one saw it coming.
Nobody saw it.
I mean, I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I don't think 73K is the top, but hey,
well, you
who
asked
knows?
me a couple weeks ago. You said, hey, did you have any shorts or anything? I said, I don't. And I said, I closed my short from 73K for a range trade. Yeah. And I got this weird gut feeling that I might be kicking myself in the teeth later for that. Because I won't have any hedge exposure if this does break to the downside, meaning that I'll be eating that drawdown because people don't realize that when I close my leverage longs, I don't normally sell Bitcoin. So in past cycles, I've just accumulated as much as I can, used some, reasonable amount of leverage to grow those, bags of Bitcoin, also doing other things to earn money, of course. But I hold on to the assets. I do believe in Bitcoin long term. So for me, I look at it as like, okay, this is a retirement style trade, like NVIDIA or something else. Like I should be holding this thing, or at least predominantly holding it for the long haul. So I don't sell it. I just try to hedge against downside risk, meaning like last cycle, I held shorts for over a year, obviously, but I only had to use about 15% of my overall capital in that position using a little bit of leverage, and the other 85% remained off exchange and in wallets that I control, obviously. So I'm not like overexposed to the market. But that allowed me to, hedge that drawdown. And I actually ended up making money overall on the way down because you collect funding. And then, I was making about 6%. It was the leftover of that position was actually making profit. The other 9% was just making up for drawdown on the way down. And, I almost doubled my Bitcoin net worth, so to speak, in a matter of, 15 months, just holding a short in the bear market. And I wanted to do something very similar with this. And, by and large was a really good long to the top in terms of like what I was able to accumulate. But, I would be disappointed if the cycle ended here. I'll say that. It'll still be a profitable year, but it wouldn't be as good as I'd wanted it to be.
Yeah, it'd be very... Well, no, Rob wouldn't be happy.
Sorry for the doom and gloom. Your chat's like, this guy's a wet blanket.
No, man, this is, people need to get over themselves. Like if everyone's got an opinion, and at least the people that have an opinion that you might not agree with, they lay out the facts of why they think something is. You should at least consider it. Doesn't mean you have to believe it or go with it.
Yeah. I actually opinion of a medium. This is actually a large, it's just tailored. Okay, tailored large. Okay, it's a well-fitting large.
It's a
tailored large.
It's a schmedium. A tailored large, yeah. Nice try, Robin. Semantics. Magic.
I was gonna say I wear a medium, so if Rob ever needs a shirt, let me know. I'll get him a Crypto Hub shirt in this size. I'll put it on him You can wear it there live.
Come out to Vegas. Bring whatever loose fitting clothing you got.
Don't threaten him with the
my
free stuff.
tailor will chop you up and make you look.
It's funny. He's got a dog
slim.
name. He's got a dog named Taylor. Magic, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure having you on, my friend. Guys, if you want more Magic Internet money, we're going to prompt the Discord link. Jump in their Discord. A lot of good stuff in there. Magic really takes the time to put things in perspective and then kind of give you some in-depth analysis that maybe you missed. So Magic, As always, my friend, we appreciate you. We love you. We love having you on the show, and we look forward to next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I did do a poll. Was 73K the cycle top? We're currently at 84% no. Magic's 50-50. I'm like 10% it's the top. I just can't.
I think the only way that this was the top, though, I guess. I mean, expanding out to when for the whole cycle.
Yeah.
I only a major event that causes shock into the markets. I think that's the only way that we don't get new all-time highs by the end of the year. And so 80,000, it's around the corner. Unless there's some broad regulation that comes down on Bitcoin from the US or in
I
Europe.
think we're going the other way, though.
Yeah, we are going the other way, but that's the only thing. And so, what is the chances of that? I think that the temperature of the room, the environment, is that we are moving to a progressive, lax policy on crypto, or at least a reversal from where we were. And so, I think that bodes very well for the space. It bodes well for prices. It's bringing a lot of attention to crypto as well. And, you have Trump openly talking about, hey, you're voting for crypto, vote for me. And he's expected to be at Bitcoin Nashville. Now, that's loose rumors, but should be something that if he shows up, pretty big, right? Because
That would be huge.
I mean, all of the big channels are going to cover it, right?
Huge.
Right?
Yeah,
CNBC,
You're talking about like,
Fox,
the mainstream?
mainstream media.
Bloomberg, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to say, oh, Trump was speaking at Bitcoin Nashville.
Let me put you this way.
So,
You want to talk about we talk about tribalism and cult followings in crypto. Dude's got like 80 million people that if he says, we're going to go and we're going to inject bleach into
let
our...
me ask you a question, and this is pretty far-fetched, but I think the likelihood of this is actually stronger than the likelihood of us having a cycle top, right? Okay, so you said less than 10%
Cycle top. Yeah.
cycle top 73K. What do you think the chances are that Trump goes to Nashville, to Bitcoin Nashville, and Biden decides to go too?
No chance in hell.
No
Zero.
chance in hell
Zero.
that he decides to go, because you have RFK. Now think about it. You got Vivek, RFK, and Trump all there. All three of them are there, and you also have other congressmen there as well. So you're going to have multiple congressmen, RFK, Vivek, and Trump. You don't think it's
No.
at all
No.
feasible?
No.
Because there's also a lot of talks that Biden wants to make up ground from that debate, right?
Bro, the guy
Here's
can't
an opportunity.
The guy can't even read a teleprompter.
Well, they can bring teleprompters to the.
But he can't even read that.
Yeah.
Guys, I think it's time for some comedic relief. But
I think that there's a chance.
Okay.
There's a chance that Biden shows up.
It's time for some comedic relief, and I do want to give a NSFW, not suitable for work. So if you have children or you're at work, maybe turn the volume down or plug their ears. But, we talked about Solana earlier. Well, someone looking to... before I get into that, big shout out to Amy Lives Crypto. Became a Sin City community member, Sinner Level 1. So shout out to you, Amy. Thank you for supporting our channel. And also, she's a new moderator as well. So big shout out to you. Shout out to all the moderators.
$5 super chat as well.
Yeah, I said, are you bullish on Schmedium shirts? I said, yes. Now, I'll just let this video speak for itself. Remember, not suitable for work. Plug those ears if you got people around you that you don't want to hear certain words. Anyways.
What's up? This your favorite hood hottest princess, sexy motherfucking red, and I want to be your princess, okay? Y'all need to vote for me because I got good coochie. I got good credit now. You know what I'm saying? I can cook, I can clean. If you vote for me, you might fuck around and get a haircut. You know what I'm saying?
She can cook, she can clean, her credit's good. What else
You got good coochie too.
Yeah, it's
So why did we pull this up?
why did we pull this up, Robin?
So
Good
she posted her Solana address, and so launched basically as asking for donations, but got all funds that were sent to her address got drained. She's also launched a couple
they got drained.
couple projects as well. And so another example, and Zach XBT has been on one. He's been out here calling her out, and every time he comments on her threads, it gets deleted as well. And I don't know. It's just yet another example of celebrities coming in, which I think is actually
No.
if you're measuring from a retail interest perspective.
Bullshit.
Oh, why you say that?
They don't give a shit.
No, I'm not saying they do.
care
No,
about their
but
communities or their fans. They
What
don't give a
did
crap.
we see? What did we see?
If anything, it's a harm. They bring people in, they rug pull the project, they blame someone else, or my Twitter got hacked. People lose money like screw crypto.
I'm just saying that. What did we see last bull market cycle when retail was really piling in on cryptos? We saw a lot of celebrity-driven meme coins or products and NFTs.
It was mostly NFTs.
Yeah, and this time around, I think it's meme coins.
But they were gifted these NFTs. Like Steph Curry and those guys, they were gifted.
No,
in
but
Bored Ape.
there was tons of creators out there that were screaming like, hey, I got an NFT, come buy it. I mean, there was 20, 30, 40, 50 different influencers that had NFT projects they launched, right? And what I'm saying is that was at the height of retail interest. And what I'm saying is that, like, from an analytic perspective, I see, you had Iggy, Sexy Red now, and then you had
I feel like you bought some of
Jenner.
that coin, didn't you?
Which one?
The Sexy Red coin?
So here's what I was talking about. So this is on the video post we just saw. So Zach XBT here says, hilarious, you've now deleted 2 posts after I replied pointing out that 90% of pressies sniped by your team and insiders. And then here's the receipts. And so on 2 different occasions, he's showing transactional receipts on what's going on here. And basically, you basically got somebody that has zero history in crypto that is just simply saying, hey, look, here's a wallet address, send me money. Here's a wallet address, come buy this new meme token. And instantly rugging, 90% out within
That's what happens
hours.
with 95% of them.
Yeah. But the thing is, she did that twice already. And
she'll do it again.
It was attempt number 3. So,
But now her credit's good, Robin, so it's fine, right? Yeah. Don't buy the bullshit celebrity meme coin meta. Please, for the love of God, don't. For every one that may be like the Iggy Azalea one, right? They got up to 100, 200, 300 million. 99% of them, you're going to lose your money. They don't give a crap about you. They don't give a crap about crypto. They don't give a crap about anything.
let me ask you something. If Taylor Swift launched a community token, do you think that has promise? Like, let's just say that she's like, hey, I'm going to launch a community token. It's part of my ecosystem. You get early access to the next album or to the next song release. Also, you can, I'm just saying that celebrity tokens, I think, are going to stay. What are you smiling about?
Are you a Swiftie?
Did you say Swiftie, bro?
Oh, that's what they call them, right, Ashley? Swifties? Thank you.
I've never heard a grown man say Swiftie. And so
Ashley, will you put him
actually,
on?
huh?
He is. He's an
seem like a
undercover
pretty big
Swiftie.
fan.
Yeah. You seem real excited about a potential Taylor Swift
You really
coin,
are.
Robin.
I'm just saying that if Taylor Swift came out with a coin, that thing would be massive, right? I mean, she single-handedly influenced
The Super Bowl.
the American GDP, right? No, with their concert tours, she had a significant influence on the GDP of the United States of America.
What are we talking about right now? We're talking about
I'm talking about her
potential
financial
Taylor
influence.
Swift coin.
Her financial influence and how much people are willing to spend on Taylor Swift concert tickets.
you okay today?
And memorabilia.
You asked me if Joe Biden would go to Nashville. Then you asked me about Taylor Swift coin. Did you not have a Red Bull today?
Would you buy
Look.
a Taylor Swift coin?
He would.
No,
Yeah,
but
you would.
I'm just saying that.
Look, I get where you're getting to. Now, do I think every single person that launches a coin has malintent? No. But 90% of them, I can say it's just not worth it to hit what, 1 out of 100. If you dump 100 of them, now if it comes in and it's like, hey, instead of, my tickets are only going to be on sale here, or you get pre-sale here, some kind of reason other than just for them to pump it, watch it go up, sure.
Just saying that if Taylor Swift had her own store, right, where you can buy digital rights to her music, you could buy clothing, you could buy concert tickets, you could get early access, and if there was a native token that was on there, I think that would be worth a lot. And why not have a celebrity monetize themselves? Now, you can say, ethically, the SEC, security, things of that nature. Okay. But I mean, is that any different than fundraising, right? Or is that any different than offering a reward program? I understand that. I mean, there's the environment in front of us is changing. We could have been having this conversation about meme coins prior to last bull market and be like, oh, it does nothing. Nobody got. But the reality of it is that there's billions of dollars locked up into meme coins, and it's $1 billion market, and it's going to grow, and it's not going to stop growing. And what we're seeing now is the doors open on celebrities and their projects and monetizing their fame. And if you can justify value on the back end, and if you have a fan base and you can reward your fan base, I'm not saying I like it, but
I haven't seen it yet.
I'm not saying I like it, but the reality of it is I think you can't stop it. You might not like meme coins, but you can't stop it. It's here to stay, and people are going to buy it. And celebrities getting into crypto, I think, is here to stay, whether you like it or not. And we can sit here and say, don't buy it, but people are going to buy it anyways. We can sit here and say, don't buy Doge. It's a meme coin. It makes no sense. It can be in 2019. Why it was launched as a joke. People buy it anyways. And now it's well respected. Do you think that there should be respect on Doge? You think it has value? You think it has well, then that's what I'm saying is that right now, the celebrity space when it comes to crypto is ripe with fraud, right? It's got, there's really no use case or utility to it at all. And I'm not saying that there even will be, but the fact is I think that there are going to be some people. I think that Iggy was a good example of someone that immediately didn't try to take advantage of the system. She didn't rug her community, right? And so she's been, I guess, going down the right path. But if someone with even a larger platform like Taylor Swift comes in and launches her own token and it benefits her community for them to, if they were going to purchase tickets anyways, like just say, for example, if you got incentivized to buy Taylor Swift tickets through her own platform, would you rather buy them through there with her token, or would you rather go through Ticketmaster and give them 15%?
Token.
Okay. So you see that there's an actual value. Like it's not.
No, I get that, and I agree with you. We just haven't seen it yet. Like, well, why didn't?
But don't you think it's coming? I think it's inevitable. It's 100% inevitable. There's no way you're going to stop celebrities from monetizing themselves, and if their choice of revenue rail is crypto, then it's inevitable.
I think it's still a little taboo though, for a majority of celebrities, right? I just like the amount of celebrities on the X timeline that, oh God, which ecosystem should I get into? I heard Solana. I'm like, bro, just, we know what's going to happen. One of two things. You're going to launch the coin, you're going to rug it yourself and claim that your ex got hacked, or you're going to blame the guy named Sahil. They're going to say, oh, he lied to me. Like at Jason Derulo. Launches the coin rugs. After it rugs, he's like, guys, Sahil screwed me over, but I'm going to make sure.
Let me ask, what about Tom Brady with Autograph, his NFT platform? I mean, do you think that's a scam, or do you think it has value?
No, but you're getting something in return.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is that, so you have a celebrity that built a product.
No, I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying we haven't seen it yet. And why haven't we seen it yet from some of the other, like Iggy? She's a pretty big pop star, right? She does shows, concerts. I'm sure she can do something where it gives a token utility. Why hasn't she done it? Why didn't Jason Derulo do it?
It just started, though.
But the idea isn't nascent. It hasn't not been around for.
Okay, this is what I would like to see. and this is just from my perspective, if this community were to grow in a responsible way, is that I would like to see not a token launched by a celebrity where they're pretty much in control, but maybe it launch on a separate chain. And I know that's what we're seeing here with Solana, but instead of it being maybe under one umbrella, right? Maybe someone like, maybe there's some celebrity DApp where each celebrity has some kind of value tied up in that ecosystem. And you can go to this trusted app where you know you're not going to get rugged, right? Where it holds the celebrities accountable. Have some third party keep an eye out for the fans, right? And then from there, let people invest in which ones they would like. I think. Do you get what I'm saying there?
No, I think that is coming. I think there's certain. I'm not going to throw any names out there, but there's certain influencers that are actually working on it already. You have people like the Phantom Foundation. They're willing to give grants, but you have to meet certain. You have to meet certain things, right? Like no wallet can control more than 5%. You have to renounce the contract, yada yada yada, and then it gives you the stamp of approval that they got funding. And then to the end user, you can look at it and say, okay, can something bad happen? Sure, but I know it probably won't be from them just pulling the rug.
So if you look at Twitch and YouTube, for example, Twitch is a better example, but you can buy like a native currency that you tip in Twitch, right? You can go on Twitch and you don't tip dollars, you tip like these points, right? And that's all inside of their own platform, right? Now, on YouTube, you can just pretty much pay with cash, but think of OnlyFans, and they make a platform where where anybody can come in and monetize themselves, but it's regulated by a third party. And so if you have a scenario where, hey, you can buy a celebrity token, but it's all found in one catalog, right? And so you can go on, say, celebtoken.io, and you go in there, and then there you have all the celebrity tokens, and they're all managed by the third party. So that way you're not going to get taken advantage of. And then there, maybe you can have competitive, competitive offers in between. Like, hey, this celebrity token offers you early access to ticket sales, perhaps a meet and greet if you hold X amount of tokens. I don't know. I think that is something we'll see sooner than later. I think that this cycle is gonna be heavily influenced by celebrities. I just feel it, bro.
I think the beauty of crypto is it's open. Again, anyone can use it. Anyone can launch a token. Whether you agree with it or not, that's the point, right? You let the free market decide. Is this going to be elevated to $1 billion market cap and to the top 100 in coins, or is it not? And it's up to the market. And so I guess if enough people speak on it with their money, then they'll get what they want. That'll do it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, and come back tomorrow, same place, same time. With that being said, Rocco, from all of us here at Sin City Crypto, we appreciate you, love you. Thank you to all the super chats. We had a few super chats. Just really quick, we had one from Scotty Mo. We had one from Ultimo Mayo. And Crypto Pitbull has been a member for 23 months. We appreciate all the support. Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I split the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.